Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Christina Fogal. Today I'm going to share with you my favorite recipe for potato chip cookies. This was always a really fun recipe to make with my kids when they're growing up because it was such a novel idea to crush up potato chips and stir them into cookies. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, and smash that like button. If you are enjoying this channel and would like to support us, I have an Etsy store and there's a link down below. These easy little drop cookies are so simple to make and absolutely delicious. I can't wait to make these. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cup of softened butter, and I'm using salted butter. I generally use salted butter in most of my baking and cooking, but either salted or unsalted butter will work great in this recipe. And I'm going to mix this up with, let's see, we have 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup packed brown sugar. I'm going to go ahead and mix this until it's nice and light and fluffy. It doesn't take very long, like a minute or two, and I will stop and scrape down the sides of the bowl several times just to make sure all the butter and sugar is really well incorporated. I'm going to add 2 eggs, and then I'm going to mix this together just a little bit before I add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And again, I'm just going to kind of quickly stir this together. Now I'm going to sprinkle in 1 teaspoon of baking soda before I add 2 1/4 cups of flour. Time to stir this together. Just a note, I didn't add any extra salt to this recipe. There's a great sweet salty balance to these cookies and I just love that. But with the potato chips, there's a lot of salt already. And in fact, if you want to cut a little bit more salt, they do have lightly salted potato chips that you can use. And now I'm going to crush the potato chips. Just put them in a Ziploc bag and just kind of roughly crunch them up. I just do this by hand. I don't get out the rolling pin because that would make them too fine. And that's kind of what they look like. I'm going to go ahead and stir those in. I'm going to use half a bag of butterscotch chips, and a lot of times I just kind of figure out where half a bag is. And then I just go ahead and dump them in. I've seen a lot of potato chip cookies with chocolate chips in them. I really like the butterscotch chips myself, but if you prefer chocolate, definitely swap out the chocolate chips for the butterscotch chips. It's a really thick dough. I love Pringles in this recipe. I love Pringles and they make awesome potato chip cookies. And then once this is all mixed in, I'm just going to go ahead and put them on a baking sheet, and I always use parchment paper. It really helps to keep them from sticking. Then I'm going to go ahead and just roll them into little balls and put them on a baking sheet. It's very sticky, but they roll pretty easy. So I'm going to go ahead and bake these. The oven is set to 350, and I'm going to bake them for about 10 to 12 minutes. My cookies took about 11 minutes and the centers still look a little bit soft, but the edges are a nice golden brown and those centers will firm up. I just leave them on the baking sheet for a few moments and let them cool a little bit before I remove them to a baking rack to finish cooling. Another thing that I like to do is I like to add nuts to this dough, but my son doesn't, so a lot of times I'll just bake half of the cookie dough first and then take some pecans or walnuts and add that to the rest of the dough. And I'll finish baking the cookies with the nuts in it so I can have some. These turned out so thin and crispy. I love that. I love the salt with the potato chips in there. With this perfect combination with the butterscotch chips. I love these. These are really good. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and ring that bell. And don't forget to leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. The recipe's on the website. It's ChristinaFogal.com.